We have been working in Bangalore, India for the last 3 or so years, setting up nest boxes for cavity nesting birds. The plan is to put out short video clips of different cavity nesting species so as to encourage people to set up nest boxes in their backyards. Different birds raise their young in different ways. Um, the scope of this video is birds nesting in existing cavities, mostly in trees, the so called secondary cavity nesters. Secondary cavity nesters nest in holes excavated by primary cavity nesters like barbets, woodpeckers, etc. Cavities are also formed naturally by decay or other forces. Common secondary cavity nesters include spotted owlet, scops owl, cinerestet, jungle myna, oriental magpie robin, parakeets, Indian robin, chestnut-tailed starling, house sparrow, Indian grey hornbill, great hornbill, among others. Cavities needed for nesting are increasingly being lost in development. Also, dead trees are considered waste and cut for safety reasons or firewood. Reforested areas usually just do not have enough mature or dead trees to support cavity nesting birds. The paucity of nest holes has led to birds using available spaces for nesting, often with unsuccessful results. Wooden nest boxes are relatively easy to make from recycled pine and waterproof marine plywood. Pine used for crate is usually available locally by weight. Pine is lightweight and lasts in the elements. A hole cutter is needed to make a circular hole, but square holes are okay. The hardware required can easily be obtained at the local store. The pieces can be assembled without any help. The dimensions are just a guide and not etched in stone. Most mid-sized cavity nesters, except small birds like cineresthets, will take to 70 mm hole boxes. Cineresthets need 32 mm hole boxes. The front plastic patch on the 32 mm box is to prevent squirrels from entering. House sparrows live with people, so these nest boxes can also be made of cardboard using shoebox and placed in the porch. This is a summary of nest box sizes for various birds and some relevant info. The chores are not complicated and can be done on weekends. Installation of nest box is typically done at a height of 12-15 feet. Safety is of utmost importance in climbing a ladder, and the latter has to be properly secured to the tree. It is necessary to use SS screws, as nails will rust and boxes will fall to the ground with disastrous consequences. Cameras can be installed inside nest boxes to study bird behavior. These cameras are small and non-intrusive. Following is a short video clip from internal camera about oriental magpie robin nesting. The nest, as you can see, is made of twigs, and it takes many trips to collect the twigs needed to build a nest. The oriental magpie robin uses its belly to make cup-shaped nest. Typically 4 to 5 turquoise blue eggs mottled with brown are laid over a few day period. The incubating parent usually faces the entrance hole while incubating the eggs so as to watch for predators. Incubation is between 10 to 14 days. Dark brown chicks hatch, which are totally dependent on their parents. This is no different from other species, including humans. Both parents engage to feed hungry mouths. Sometimes one of the parent fetches food while the other stays with the nest. Then the parent takes turn to feed the chicks. Food typically consists of insects, which are high in protein. The food is not limited to insects, but also small vertebrates like lizards can be part of the diet. The parents keep the chick warm, especially when they are young with no feathers. The parents have to make thousands of trips to meet the growing appetite of the chicks and at the same time ensuring that no siblings are left out. This is much more complicated task than what meets the eye. The constant cacophony has to be a distraction for the parents. Now the chicks are getting older and feathers start to appear. Parents may have a hard time keeping up with the feeding as the chicks get older, and it's a very hectic event. It's also difficult for the parents to keep track who gets the food. Chicks grow quite fast as they typically fledge the nest in about 3 weeks. The nest box activity can be easily monitored with an external camera mounted on a tripod. Best times are early morning and late afternoon. Extreme caution needs to be exercised so as not to stress the bird. Parents look around for any sign of danger before approaching the nest. Both parents engage in feeding the chicks. The white pouch carried out of the nest is a fecal sac, which is a routine housekeeping exercise. It's a really rare event to actually witness chicks fledge the nest. It is exhilarating, and I consider myself fortunate to witness it. The magpie robin fledgling goes and sits on a thigh branch after leaving the nest and calls its parents for help. Nest boxes scouting by other birds like scops owl does not necessarily result in success. The internal camera also helps in highlighting issues faced during the nesting process. Predation is something that happens in the natural world, as seen here in monkeys stealing eggs from inside the box. Also, bigger birds like common myna can predate on eggs of smaller birds. Snakes like rat snake can also gain access to nest as they are very agile climbers. Lastly, thanks for watching and stay tuned for more.